Hi everyone, Bernard here with the latest Citizen vlog. It's a look back and a quiz, one of these where I have a quick look at a magazine from a certain time, and obviously little quiz questions on it as well as we're looking through and remembering things from the magazine. And we're obviously looking at the 2013, the second season in the modern times where we lifted the Premier League title, obviously 2013-14. So this is a brochure, official celebration souvenir from £4.99. So great value for money. Probably be over 10 of these days. This was obviously 6-7 years ago, so probably cost us a tenner now to produce this. But nice, a nice glossy magazine. It's just nice to have a look through it and come up with a few simple, quite an easy one today. I think quite an easy quiz. But please, hope you enjoy it anyway. If you're new to the channel, please push the old subscribe button, push the bell notification, and all these little quizzes and cities and past, cities and presents are coming out. Obviously, there's lots of these little quizzes. Just check the playlist below, the links below to all the playlists, etc., and just pick and choose. I mean, there's quite a lot out there at the moment. So please, hope you enjoy this today. Yeah, 2013 together. That was the tagline, wasn't it? That was the together, and we're together. Lovely day today. The sun's lovely and warm today. Lovely out. I've got a day off, but I'll be soon be back in work. Yeah, so together was the tagline, wasn't it, for that season? So what it does in this, it's weird because it shows you like the crucial games, but it also then has you looking at the other games that aren't as important. So it doesn't go from like August to May. It sort of goes all over the place. So it's quite unusual the way it was done. So let's have a quick look at this and see if we get some questions on it. See if we can answer the questions on this one. Right. Well, we all know the last game, wasn't it? The last game was quite not as mad as the 2011-12 one, was it? It wasn't the 93-20 incident. It was quite calm, wasn't it, with the last game? Obviously, we had to beat West Ham, didn't we? But can you tell me, for the question one, who scored in that 2-0 win over West Ham? Who were our two scorers? And I'll tell you now, I got one of these wrong when I was thinking before I looked at it. Oh, I forgot, so I only got one myself in this one. So it shows you some great images of there from the game and stuff like that. Obviously, match images, etc. Right, question two. Can you name the top four? I don't want to know how many points they got. I don't particularly worry about the order they're in. I will give you the correct order. But can you name the top four in 2013-14? So that's worth 4 points, this question. Name the top four. Again, I probably would have got at least two wrong. Maybe I just got one wrong, but I've probably got two wrong with this myself. Obviously we know City, don't we? So you're only naming three, really. If you forget City were top, and we've just been bragging about being champions. Right, next question. I've got a great picture of Vinny holding the trophy up here, but who's the player stood next to Vinny? Great image there of him lifting the trophy. Get out of the shade there a little bit. Who's that next to Vinny? You should be able to get that, shouldn't you? Great piece on there. Obviously, the sadly out of English football at the moment after West Ham got rid. But what was his nickname? I mean, we had this charming man, but he had a better known nickname, Manuel Pellegrini. What was it? Can you remember what his nickname was? Great images there of the game against Arsenal. Obviously at the Etihad that season on December 2013, 14th of December. We shared 9 goals. What was the score? Can you remember the score? No, wasn't that quite an easy one? 9 goals we shared that game. What was the score? Yeah, I told you it'd be quite easy today. I bet you're getting all these right, aren't you? Another easy one for you to guess. We've got a certain player celebrating here, haven't we? A little bit of a bit wet by the looks of it, or snow or rain, really wet day. But who's that team we played there in the background? Look at the kit. I mean, it's just a very unusual kit. Can you think who that team might have been? We played at the Etihad. Strange kit. It's certainly not one that I've seen them wear before this season. Can you have a guess? If you know the players, then you probably know if you can recognise any of those two players there. But yeah, think who we played that game. Another little image of an action game. This is at Newcastle. But can you give me who the City player is there against Newcastle? Let's get in there. There we go. Who's that there? Can you give me his name? That's away at St James's Park. And similarly, who's this young man? Look at the pictures. Don't look at any of the writing. Looking for clues. So who's that? This sun's playing havoc. I'm not used to sun. I usually pull the blinds, but I feel guilty pulling the blinds when it's sunny. It's such a shame to live in darkness, isn't it, when we hardly get any sun in the first place? On to question 9. I'll show you a bit of a ground now, and obviously I'm not going to show you any of the opponents because it'll be too easy then to know. But obviously some of our heroes celebrating a goal. But do you know the ground? What ground it is? You recognise the ground from that image where we played at? What ground's that? Again, ignore the words in case there's any hints. Just look at the picture. Look at the pictures. What ground's that? Do you know what ground it is? November the 2nd, obviously 2013, saw our biggest home win against Norwich. Can you remember the score? I won't ask you the scorers. Can you just remember what score we beat Norwich? It was our biggest home win of the season. Most goals scored. It wasn't the most goals scored in the game because obviously we may have already featured that, but it was our biggest home victory. Who was that against? It was against Norwich, and what score was it? And then following on from that, on the 29th of January 2014, we had our biggest away win against Spurs. And what did we beat? What score did we beat Spurs for our biggest away win of the season? All right, question 12. By the magic of TV, I've had to pull the blind down because I can't show you the pictures properly, can I? So I'll pull the blinds down. So by the magic of editing, we're now in a dark room, and I've done what I didn't want to do and turned the sun away. But there you go. All right, question 12, the last question. It's like three-part question, so there's 3 answers to this. I want you just to look at this image. Actually, this is why I've shut the blinds, and I want you to get a good look at the image. I want just have a good look. I won't tell you what questions I'm going to ask. Just try to memorize what's going on in the image, and then I will ask you 3 questions based on this picture. Absolutely fantastic picture. Taken, obviously. Make sure I get all that in for you so you can look at it all. Look at that image. Just concentrate on what's going on in the image. You can pause it and watch a bit longer if you want. Try and figure it out. But I'm going to ask you questions on that image in a minute. Just have a close look. All right. Or you can pause this before I ask the questions because I don't want, it's not going to be asking the question and going back and looking at the image, is it? Please. It's only a bit of fun, as you know. But can you tell me in that picture, 3 questions. First one, how many City players featured in the picture? How many? You have to be spot on here. I'm not having half points. How many bananas featured in that picture? And how many flags featured in that picture? So how many City players, how many bananas, and how many flags? And that's the end of that little quiz. I hope you enjoyed that. And did you watch? What's your memory like for that little picture? As I say, I would have been useless. Would have had to guess at the players, and I would have had to guess at bananas and flags. To be honest with you, I can't remember, But I was never very good at things like that. Right, let's have a look at the answers. Obviously, question 1. Obviously, we're showing images from the game there, and obviously you've got images. Sami Nasri there, obviously scored one of the goals, celebrating. Of course, look at the other guys celebrating there. The top, I would have totally forgot Vincent scored as well, Vincent Kompany. So Kompany and Nasri scored in that game against West Ham to seal the title for us in that last game of the season. So yeah, miserably I would have failed on that, even though obviously I was there, as you know. I was there, but I still don't know. I still can't remember. It's another great image there on the next page. Not part of the quiz, but it's just great to look at these old images in the final table there. Some good images, some great colour images in this magazine. Any more little images to show you that are worth looking at. Obviously, on the other side of the question 1, there's some great celebrations there. But there, that's the question 1, isn't it? I mean, obviously, who's next to Vinny? Obviously, it's Edin Dzeko next to Vinny there, celebrating with his flag around his shoulders. So the answer to the question 3 was Edin Dzeko. Yeah, some more celebratory photos, some great stuff. Champion's reaction. There's Vinny with his daughter. I've never been a big fan of having the kids on the pitch. I always objected to that, but it's a normal thing now, isn't it? And there's nothing we can do about it. But I always wanted it to be a male thing and kids not to be. I know it's horrible to say, isn't it? I mean, I'm a dad myself, but I just thought, obviously, when you look at football and camaraderie of football, I think it's between the players and the fans, etc., and the managers. That's the manager and coaches. I don't like it. As I say, I've got used to it. But when it first started happening, obviously a while back now, obviously many years ago, I just didn't like the kids being brought onto the. It's a more a private thing for them, and I think it ruins it for the closeness of the supporters with the fans, especially crucial games. Obviously at homecomings and things like that. Fair enough, but at the energy and and the passion of a game, it was never a big thing of mine. As I said, I'm no sticking them. Obviously these things happen. There's nothing you can do about it, is there? But that was always my opinion. I was a bit disappointed when they started doing it, but it's become the norm now, hasn't it? So we have to accept it. It's a great picture of Zabba biting the medal. Make sure it's not made of chocolate or anything like that. It's another one similar to the one we saw before. Some great images. So some great things. What are you tempted to? If you buy these magazines, I would always buy a couple of them, and then if I wanted, I could make little pictures out of one. You know what I mean? So that'd be interesting. Of course, I'll show you the picture of Manuel Pellegrini. Question 4, and obviously it was called the Engineer. So I wasn't looking for this charming man. That was his original nickname, the Engineer. So that's the question. That's the one I was looking for anyway. So if you got that right, all fair. That's a great image, isn't it? Yeah, and Manuel with the trophy. And that little lad in the background. I bet he's. You'll know who he is. We'll look at that in future years. So look at that picture. Look at where I am, and obviously the iconic pictures of we all love a Vinny celebration, don't we? Which are always worth a watch. Yeah, so the Arsenal game, wasn't it? The Arsenal game I was looking at, where it was a 9-goal thriller, wasn't it? City and Arsenal 6-3. Absolutely incredible game. I remember it really well. Fantastic game. Arsenal were lucky to get. I don't think they were ever particularly in it, were they? I think 6-3 did them, give them that 3-goal. It was a 3-goal difference, wasn't it? So there you go. And the winning in the rain, name the player, of course. Name the kit. Obviously, we were playing Aston Villa. So that was an Aston Villa away kit from that season. Obviously, it was a very wet night. 4-0 win against Aston Villa. But to say it's just a strange kit for Villa, isn't it? I mean, obviously you've got your maroon and what maroon, but obviously there is probably some blue somewhere, but we can't see it. Perhaps it was on the socks. I'm not too sure. But that was Aston Villa. So yes, it said Aston Villa. Give yourself a little award for that one. There's a couple of games here featured. Obviously the Newcastle game. Of course, it was Negredo, Alvaro Negredo in that picture, and on the other side we had Jesus Navas, of course, Jesus Navas. And the name the ground. Well, if you see the colour of the team we're playing, obviously it becomes more obvious, doesn't it? But yeah, it's of course Selhurst Park, isn't it? Home with Crystal Palace. So yeah, name the ground. That was Selhurst Park, worth a point. Yeah, the home win against Norwich. It was a 7-0 win against Norwich. 7-9. I might have said 6-0. Again, I forgot it was 7-0. And of course, away against Spurs, I did remember that. It was 5-1. Obviously, it was the biggest away win against Tottenham Hotspur. That's question 11, so give yourself a point for that. And a point for 7-0 if you got that for Norwich. And the image at the end, obviously the image at the end, which is an absolutely fantastic image, isn't it? Just make sure I've done it right and I've not made it up. Yes, I mean, so we're talking 8 players, aren't we? So there's eight players I'm after. That was the answer. 8 players. Bananas, well, I can only see one. Unless you can see more than one, I can only see one banana. And flags, about flags. How many flags can you see on there? Again, I can see that one there. See, just behind the head, that's a flag there. Perhaps you may not notice that on the image. You show a bit clearer to me, but look at this here as well. Corner flag. That's a bit of a cheat, isn't it? But it's still a flag. So I've put 2 down for that. So did you get 1 or 2, or did you get any at all? But yeah, this wasn't a trick question. There were flags on it, so I'm going for 2 flags on that. So, but that is a great image, isn't it? And fantastic. And the lad, obviously the lad in the City shirt holding the banana there, he'll know who he is. He's probably got a copy of this at home. Or it's amazing how many of these crowd photos that people don't realise they're on. And sometimes I printed one the other. Show him on one of my Twitter posts on this day, City on this day, and his brother and his granddad were on it, and he didn't realise, and they're actually on the pitch. He'd actually run onto the pitch and with a couple of City players. So he's obviously, I'm trying to get a bigger print, bigger version of it, so he can print it off himself, because obviously it's just part of a scrapbook page. So yeah, it's nice when these things, because a lot of people don't even realise. I mean, a lot of people don't buy these magazines, so I mean, they wouldn't see this sort of thing. So, yeah, that was the official celebration souvenir fortnight. I was having a look through, and I thought I'll throw a few questions at you as well, see how you did. So there's 18 points up for grabs there. How well did you do? Let me know in the comments below what you scored. How many would I have scored? I don't know. I probably got 3 or 4 or 5 wrong. I probably got about 13 on that one. I wouldn't have got the memory one. Obviously, I wouldn't have probably got any. I would have just guessed, and I might have been lucky. But I was fairly sure of 12 or 13 of the answers, but not all. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Please, if you want all the latest City news that I retweet and information and all these on this days, which I do, I try and do one every day of something in history on this day in such and such a date. Please follow me on Twitter at Charles Dineen, Dineen spelled DINNN, or also linked is my other account, which is at nostalgia_movie. So they both more or less have the same stuff. I retweet stuff from one to the other. So follow me on either of those or both. It's entirely up to you. I try to follow everyone back as well. And I'm on Facebook at Burn Dineen with links to moviegamenostalgia.com, which is my little website for old and rare DVDs, movie posters from the 90s and 2000s, and board games, sort of retro board games, Waddington stuff, Parkers, old MB games, them sort of things. So if you can have a look at moviegamenostalgia.com, my little website, one of my little day jobs doesn't quite pay the bills, so I've had to go out and get another little day job to help pay the bills. But there you go. That's how it is, isn't it? It's one of those things. I'm very lucky that I could go out and get another one, isn't it? To pay it. I'm healthy enough to do it. Anyway, that's by the by. Thanks for watching this anyway. Please check all the links below for other playlists and stuff. You can say City Past, City Present, City Quizzes, which it tends to be a lot of at the moment. But if you're interested in City's history, please look at my dedicated blogs on Manchester City history. They're called Cities and City Past. So please enjoy, and I hope entertain, and hopefully you'll be back for some more. Anyway, what are you going to do the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourself, look after your friends, look after your family, and more importantly, let's all look after each other. This is Bernard saying goodbye for now. Hopefully I'll see you all again soon. Bye-bye.